Have you ever noticed that when life gets hard, motivation is the first thing that disappears? The alarm rings, but you don't want to get up. The dream is still there, but the energy is gone. The goal still matters, but the obstacles seem bigger than ever. And that's the moment most people make a mistake. They think successful people stay motivated all the time. But that's not true. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't the ones who never lose motivation. They're the ones who learn how to keep moving forward when motivation disappears. Because motivation was never meant to be permanent. Your purpose is. Today, I want to show you how to stay motivated when life gets hard, how to find strength when you feel exhausted, and why your toughest moments might actually be preparing you for your greatest success. Remember your why. It sounds simple, but when life gets hard, this is often the first thing people forget. We become so focused on the problems in front of us that we lose sight of the reason we started in the first place. The challenges get louder than our purpose. The obstacles become bigger than our vision. And when that happens, motivation begins to disappear. Most people believe motivation comes from success. They think they will feel motivated when things start working out. They think motivation appears when results show up, when opportunities arrive, or when life becomes easier. But motivation doesn't come from circumstances. It comes from meaning. It comes from knowing why what you're doing matters. Think about the times in your life when you worked harder than you thought possible. It probably wasn't because someone forced you to do it. It wasn't because everything was easy. It was because something mattered deeply to you. When people have a strong reason, they can endure incredible challenges. When they have a purpose that means something, they find strength they didn't know they had. The problem is that many people spend more time thinking about what they want than why they want it. They focus on the goal, but ignore the purpose behind the goal. They want more money, but they never ask why. They want success, but they never define what success means to them. They want a better life, but they never connect the desire to something meaningful. And when difficulties arrive, those shallow reasons are not enough to keep them moving. A goal can inspire you for a moment. A purpose can inspire you for years. When you know your why, setbacks don't automatically become stop signs. They become challenges to overcome. Failure doesn't become proof that you should quit. It becomes feedback that helps you grow. Rejection doesn't define your future. It becomes part of your journey. Your why acts like an anchor during storms. It keeps you connected to what matters when everything around you feels uncertain. Without that anchor, every obstacle has the power to push you off course. With it, you become more resilient because your focus remains on something bigger than the temporary struggle. Many people quit not because they are incapable, but because they forget why they started. They get distracted by frustration. They become discouraged by slow progress. They compare themselves to others. They focus on what they haven't achieved instead of remembering what they are trying to build. The strongest source of motivation is not external rewards. It is internal meaning. External rewards can be helpful. Recognition feels good. Achievement feels good. Success feels good. But those things are temporary. They come and go. If your motivation depends entirely on external rewards, then your motivation will rise and fall based on circumstances you cannot always control. Purpose is different. Purpose stays with you even when nobody notices your effort. It stays with you when results take longer than expected. It stays with you when the road becomes difficult. It gives you a reason to keep going even when the rewards are far away. That's why some people can work for years toward a dream while others give up after a few months. The difference is often not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not luck. The difference is clarity of purpose. When your why is clear, decisions become easier. Distractions lose their power. Temporary discomfort becomes easier to tolerate because you understand what you're working toward. You stop asking, how can I avoid this challenge? And start asking, how can I grow through this challenge? Your why reminds you that the struggle has meaning. Maybe your why is your family. Maybe it's creating opportunities that never existed before. Maybe it's proving to yourself that you're capable of more. Maybe it's making a positive impact on other people. Maybe it's becoming the person you know you can be. Whatever your reason is, it must be personal. It must matter to you, not to someone else. Too many people chase goals that belong to other people. They pursue expectations that society gives them. They follow paths that look impressive from the outside but feel empty on the inside. And eventually, they lose motivation because they are investing energy into something that doesn't truly matter to them. Real motivation grows when your actions are connected to your values. When what you do each day aligns with what you believe is important, you experience a sense of purpose. Even difficult tasks become more meaningful because they serve a larger mission. The work may still be hard. The obstacles may still exist. But your willingness to endure them increases because you understand their significance. Every time life gets difficult, take a moment and reconnect with your why. Remind yourself what you're fighting for. Remind yourself what inspired you to begin. Remind yourself of the future you're trying to create. Remind yourself of the impact you want to make. Remind yourself of the person you are becoming through the process, because motivation is not about feeling excited every day. It is about staying connected to something meaningful enough that you continue moving forward even on the days when excitement is nowhere to be found. The people who achieve remarkable things are not always the most motivated. They are often the people who never lose sight of their why. They understand that purpose creates persistence. They know that meaning creates endurance. They recognize that when life gets hard, the answer is not always to find more motivation. Sometimes the answer is simply to remember why they started. Focus on progress, not perfection. One of the biggest reasons people lose motivation is because they become obsessed with perfection. They set a goal, create a vision in their mind, and imagine a flawless journey from where they are to where they want to be. They picture consistent success, steady growth, and immediate results. But life rarely works that way. The path to success is usually messy, unpredictable, and filled with mistakes. The moment reality doesn't match their expectations, frustration begins to grow. They miss a day, make a mistake, face a setback, or experience failure, and suddenly they feel like they are falling behind. Instead of recognizing that challenges are a normal part of growth, they see them as evidence that they are not good enough. Perfection creates pressure. Progress creates momentum. When your goal is perfection, every mistake feels like a disaster. Every setback feels personal. Every flaw becomes a reason to doubt yourself. You spend more time criticizing your performance than improving it. You focus on what went wrong instead of what went right. But when your goal is progress, everything changes. Mistakes become lessons. Setbacks become opportunities to grow. Challenges become part of the process. Instead of asking whether you perform perfectly, you ask whether you move forward. Even a small step counts because progress is still progress. Many people underestimate the power of small improvements. They believe success requires massive breakthroughs and dramatic transformations. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect plan, or the perfect moment. While they are waiting, life continues moving forward. The truth is that extraordinary results are often built through ordinary actions repeated consistently over time. A single workout may not transform your body. A single book may not transform your mind. A single day of hard work may not transform your future. But hundreds of small actions performed consistently can create remarkable change. The challenge is that progress often feels slow. Human beings naturally focus on the gap between where they are and where they want to be. They look at successful people and compare themselves. They look at their goals and notice how far away they still are. They focus on everything they haven't achieved yet. This mindset can be dangerous because it makes progress invisible. Imagine climbing a mountain. If you spend the entire journey staring at the summit, you may become discouraged by how far you still have to go. But if you occasionally look back, you'll realize how much ground you've already covered. You'll see the distance you've traveled. You'll recognize the growth you've achieved. The same principle applies to every area of life. People often fail to appreciate their own development because they are constantly focused on the next milestone. They achieve one goal and immediately move to the next. They solve one problem and start worrying about another. They never take time to acknowledge how far they've come. Progress deserves recognition, not because it means you've finished the journey, but because it proves you're moving in the right direction. Every skill you develop started with being a beginner. Every achievement you admire was once an unfinished dream. Every successful person you look up to experienced moments of uncertainty, failure, and self-doubt. They were not born with perfect abilities. They improved through consistent effort. Perfection is impossible because growth never ends. There will always be something to improve. There will always be another level to reach. There will always be new lessons to learn if you wait until you're perfect before feeling proud of yourself. You will spend your entire life feeling disappointed. Growth requires patience. In a world that celebrates instant results, patience has become a rare skill. People want success quickly. They want visible results immediately. They want rewards without waiting. But meaningful growth often takes longer than expected. A tree does not grow overnight. Strong relationships are not built in a day. Mastery is not achieved in a week. Great accomplishments require time, effort, and persistence. When you focus only on outcomes, delays can destroy your motivation. But when you focus on progress, every day becomes valuable because every day provides an opportunity to improve. Some days your progress will be significant. Other days it may seem small. There will be moments when you feel unstoppable and moments when you feel stuck. There will be periods of rapid growth and periods where nothing appears to be changing. Those slower periods are often where the most important growth happens. Just because you cannot immediately see progress does not mean progress is not occurring. Seeds grow beneath the surface long before anyone sees the plant. Skills develop through repetition long before expertise becomes visible. Confidence grows through experience long before it becomes obvious. The danger of perfectionism is that it convinces people that anything less than perfect is failure. Miss one workout and they quit. Make one mistake and they doubt themselves. Experience one setback and they abandon the goal entirely. They treat temporary imperfections as permanent defeats. Successful people understand something different. They understand that consistency matters more than perfection. They know that showing up imperfectly is better than not showing up at all. They know that taking action with flaws is better than waiting for flawless conditions. They know that every step forward matters, even when it feels small. Progress creates confidence because it provides evidence that change is possible. Every improvement, no matter how minor, becomes proof that your efforts are making a difference. Those small victories accumulate over time. They build belief. They strengthen resilience. They create momentum. Momentum is powerful because it makes future action easier. The more progress you make, the more motivated you become to continue. The more evidence you gather that growth is happening, the more willing you are to keep going through challenges. Instead of measuring yourself against perfection, measure yourself against who you were yesterday. Focus on becoming slightly better, slightly stronger, slightly wiser, and slightly more capable. Allow yourself to be a work in progress. Accept that mistakes are part of learning. Understand that growth is not a straight line. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to keep moving forward, keep learning, keep improving, and keep taking one step after another regardless of how slow the journey may seem. Turn pain into purpose. Every person experiences pain. It is one of the few things that connects all human beings regardless of their background, age, or circumstances. No one goes through life without disappointment. No one escapes failure. No one avoids heartbreak, loss, rejection, uncertainty, or struggle. Pain is not something that happens to a few unlucky people. It is part of the human experience. The difference is not whether people experience pain. The difference is what they do with it. Some people allow pain to define them. They become trapped by their past experiences. They allow setbacks to convince them that they are incapable of success. They carry disappointment for years and let it shape every decision they make. They see pain as evidence that life is unfair and that their dreams are impossible. Others choose a different path. They use pain as fuel. They transform adversity into strength. They take the lessons hidden inside their struggles and use them to build a better future. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" they begin asking, "What can this teach me?" Pain has the ability to reveal parts of ourselves that comfort never could. When everything is easy, we rarely discover how resilient we are. We rarely learn how much courage we possess. We rarely find out what we are truly capable of overcoming. Difficult moments force us to grow in ways that comfortable moments cannot. Think about the strongest people you know. Think about the individuals who inspire others, who demonstrate resilience, who continue moving forward despite enormous challenges. Their strength was not created by easy circumstances. It was developed through struggle. It was shaped by adversity. It was built through experiences that tested their character. Pain often becomes the classroom where life's most important lessons are learned. Failure teaches humility. Rejection teaches persistence. Loss teaches gratitude. Challenges teach resilience. Difficulties teach patience. Every painful experience carries a lesson that has the potential to make us stronger if we are willing to learn from it. The problem is that when people are in the middle of pain, they often focus only on the discomfort. They focus on what they lost, what went wrong, or what should have happened differently. Their attention becomes consumed by the immediate emotional weight of the situation. That reaction is understandable. Pain hurts because it matters. Disappointment hurts because expectations existed. Loss hurts because something valuable was taken away. The emotional response is real and important. Ignoring those emotions is not the answer, but staying trapped inside them forever prevents growth. At some point, a choice must be made. You can allow pain to become a prison, or you can allow it to become a teacher. Every setback contains information. Every challenge contains insight. Every difficult experience reveals something about yourself, your values, your priorities, or your potential. The lessons may not be obvious at first. They may take time to uncover. They may require reflection and honesty. But they are there. Many of the world's greatest achievements were born from painful experiences. People create businesses because they experienced a problem they wanted to solve. They become leaders because they understand the consequences of poor leadership. They become mentors